Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hyemin from Korea. The topic of my presentation today is evaluating urban park ecosystem health using bird functional diversity in Seoul. I know that this time is for letting us know each other, who am I and what brings me in here. So before I start, I want to briefly introduce myself. So uh, I think that we all study ecology, but we have all different perspectives. In terms of my perspective, I'm studying this landscape ecology. The landscape ecology is about taking a step back and looking at ecosystem from wider and the broader. So based on this perspective, I conducted remote sensing based spatial analysis and the ecological modeling with a strong interest with the interaction between nature and the human system. And outside of the academy, I have enjoyed and I have a deep personal interest in the bird watching, and I'm also one of the bird watcher. So today's presentation, the main question what I want to find the answer is why does biodiversity is matter? We run the biodiversity is important as well in our school, but why? Why biodiversity matter? So I want to know this important. I want to find answer this question with my perspective, with the landscape ecology scale, and with interesting the anthropogenic effect or human activity with a ecosystem quantification. So birds are widely recognized the biocondition indicator because they are high sensitivity to environment change and the strong mobility. Traditionally, we use the bird community diversity data using the indices, data species, richness, and abundance and evenness, which are the derived from the species counting data. And these indices help to quantify ecosystem health in the standardized way. But there also have some limitation of these traditional indices. Let me think. If there are two parts, part A, there are 5 individual and 4 species. And also other part B, they also have a 5 individual and 4 species. If I calculated the like richness and Cincinnati species, all the data is the same. But the part A, part B is a totally different environmental system. So I think we should so I think these traditional diversity indices are purely a species context based, so and they don't reflect the ecological trait or function of species. So to address this gap, I looked this functional diversity, a trait-based approach that offers deeper insight into how communities operate. Functional diversity captures the ecological role more directly and then species count, improving understanding the ecosystem process. So where they live and how they move, what they eat, this question can be presented the habitat quality, climate factor, and the special factors and anything like that. So I want to apply this functional diversity framework to urban park. Urban parks is not only places for recreation or rest place for human, it also serves as an important habitat for a wildlife species supporting biodiversity in a city. And urban green spaces play a pivotal role in the sustaining biodiversity and enhancing ecosystem resiliency in the rapidly urbanizing cities. This is why evaluating the health of urban park is essential. Uh, so this is my research objective and key question. Can functional diversity of bird communities serve as an indicator of ecosystem health in urban park? So there are two objectives. One, compare FD levels across the Seoul urban park, and they analyze how features like park size and green cover area related to FD. So my research followed four steps. First, from data compilation and calculating functional diversity and the characteristic extraction of the part. And the step four is the correlation analysis. So I choose the eBird data for bird occurrence data. eBird is the largest citizen science platform specific in bird. So eBird data including standardized metadata, enabling ecological analysis like time, location, or something other like that. So this is the reason I choose these eBird data. And from 2020 to 2024, more than 200,000 eBird records of the 295 bird species were collected in Seoul. So this is the step for pre-processing data. To begin, I use the eBird data collected from 2022 to 2024 in 5 years. And I integrated the bird record by specially joining them with a park boundary. Since eBird is an opportunistic citizen science-based data, so is it important to ensure the reliability of the data before analysis. So I conduct the rarefaction analysis to assess data completeness and only include the park with a sample coverage of over the 80%. Finally, I extract the park level species special features such as the green area ratio and the heterogeneity of the patch and for use in the correlation analysis. And then next to the trade data, the trade data were collected for the 295 species recorded in Seoul, covering the foraging stratum and the residence type and the habitat. To support the analysis, I create the custom bird trade data derived from the both international or global trade database and the current material, including like guidebook or other people. And then I'm using the three multifunctional data indices: evenness, divergence, and dispersion. Evenness means check if species traits are evenly spread, and the divergences focus on whether dominant species are stand out, and the dispersion means tell overall spread of the trait. So this is result. Among the around the 2,000 park in Seoul, only 128 park has an even record. Rarefaction analysis select the 6 park with a sufficient sampling for inclusion, but the waterfront park with a completely different with a community characteristic, so we exclude from the study area. So we have only 48 park in the Seoul. And then I calculated the functional diversity, and this is the correlation between the functional diversity and the special characteristic. And the first, evenness show a strong negative with a correlation with the total number of species as well as with a habitat heterogeneity and the number of survey checklists. This means species richness and the survey effort increase, the evenness tend to decrease, like due to the greater variation in the species abundance. And also the higher habitat heterogeneity seems to contribute less on uniformity in the species distribution. And the fourth divergence is the this line. Divergence, we find a significant correlation with all four variables. This means that higher survey completeness were associated with a higher divergence, and I also confirm a meaningful link to with the habitat heterogeneity. And lastly, for dispersion, the only significant correlation with as a total number of species. This indicate that as the species richness increase, the all over functional dispersion is decreased, whether traits are more uniformly distributed. So this is the discussion part of my study. We have two contributions of that. First, I think I developed the framework for using the FT in the diversity in birds. So this functional trait database for Korean bird species can use the other feature study on like avian ecosystem assessment, the avian ecosystem. And the second, I propose the trait-based approach for evaluating the urban park ecosystem through the bird functional diversity. This method could support the science-based evidence to decision making and such as a feature management plan for urban living. But there are still some limitation of my research. First is the tree coverage. I only consider 3 tree coverages, so if I consider the many more tree like some nest site or biomass and like that, it might be many more discussions thing will be. And also, although the data were refined, we must still be mindful of sampling. Here, this is the citizen database, citizen science database. And this is the part of the this study is still ongoing project for me. So I would like to share my next research stuff. Currently, I'm conducting the regular field monitoring in one of the park in Seoul for over the 3 more years. So my goal is to validate this functional diversity framework using the empirical data. And next, I'm planning to expand the analysis by incorporating satellite images to assess the seasonal variation or the trend analysis in ecosystem function. And finally, I'm aiming to use the research to provide the science-based policy recommendation for improving urban park management and planning. And thanks for your attention.
Any question from Judge for Kim Hang? Please.
Yes, in the first slide, where did you take the photo?
This is the here.
I mean, in your
No,
first
the
slide,
first
your photo.
My photo. You mean this photo?
Yes.
This is the Kurok Island. It's one of the island in Incheon. Its name is Kurokdo. So there are beautiful sceneries. So some people in Korea said this is the Korean Galapagos. Because of nice scenery.
I think another question. Do you have any plan to use like word acoustic logo?
Yeah.
I think we can put it some in the garden or and it's not clear according to bird song. And after that we can use it like BirdNet from Australia. We can identify species using AI.
Yeah.
Do you have some plan for using it?
Yeah. In my laboratory, we also collecting the bird song data by the song meter and other acoustic data. So if I use that data, then my research might be more reachable. Yeah. Thank you for your